Okay, so you have a classic car like a 1999 Suzuki Esteem station wagon, and you've noticed it's starting to run a little rough. Maybe even has stalled out on you a couple of times. You don't get the gas mileage you used to get. Sometimes there's a funny gas smell. No acceleration, and it just is not running right. And then all of a sudden, check engine light comes on. Take it into the shop, and they run a bunch of tests on it, and they tell you your mass airflow sensor is faulty and you're going to have to replace it, and it's going to cost you $1,100 and up. The reason it's going to cost that much is because what they want to do is replace this whole section that has the mass airflow sensor in it. You don't have to do that, and in fact you may not need to replace your mass airflow sensor. It might just be dirty. So there's sensors all around the throttle system. This one is an air temperature sensor. Not sure what some of the other ones are. This was your idle set in here, but this one is a mass airflow sensor, easy to take out. It's just 2 screws. So you take those 2 screws out, and there's your mass airflow sensor. Unplug it. You'll see it's got a hole in the center where the air passes over, and it has 2, they look like transistors in there, for those of you who remember what transistors are. And the air flows over that, and it's a whole complex way of doing things, but what it does is it helps control the mixture of air and fuel to provide more efficient burning. And if that isn't working properly, it'll screw up everything about the way your car engine runs. So once you've got the mass airflow sensor out, you have to be very careful not to touch the wires or anything. And apparently it's coated with some kind of a special compound that, if you use anything but sensor clean, can damage the mass airflow sensor, and you will need to replace it. So you put that little thing in and just kind of give it a couple of shots right through. It cleans the contacts, and it takes any grime and any particulate stuff that's built up over the years. So I've been driving this car for 14 years and never once cleaned it. So it was probably time. The stuff evaporates really fast. Now, I'm going to tell you one thing that frustrated me to no end, because I thought I was going to have to replace this, because I cleaned it, I put it back in, the car ran great for about 10 minutes and then started acting up again. I noticed there was a bit of a channel around here that looked like it should probably have something in it, and it wasn't until I went back and looked at the pictures online that realized there's a rubber seal that goes in there. And if you're thinking air mixture and air pressure, probably important. I found this part on the ground underneath the car, so when I removed it, it had obviously been a damaged seal. No good anymore, but you have to put another one back. I just went into the plumbing section and got a little O-ring. 3/4 inch seems to do the job. Slides right over there. Just make sure it's seated well, and your sensor's ready to be back installed. You put it just back in very carefully, making sure not to damage any of those things. And then screw it back in. It's either going to work or not. If you're lucky, your mass airflow sensor just needed a good cleaning, and your car is back to running like a top again.